Hello, my dear students. I hope that you're okay. Today we're going to revise Unit 3 Connect Plus, entitled by A Day in My Life. Unit 3 starts with the vocabulary, which talks about jobs, different jobs for different people. Let's start with them with the farmer. Who's the farmer? Someone works in a farm. He's called a farmer. And then we have a fisherman. Then we have a fisherman. Who's the fisherman? Someone whose job is to catch fish. That's why he goes to the sea in his boat to catch fish. Then we have a carpenter. We have a carpenter. The carpenter, the one who makes for us the tables, the chairs, and sometimes he fixes them if they are broken. This is the carpenter. And then we have the mechanic. Then we have the mechanic. Who is the mechanic? The one who fixes cars. Who is the mechanic? The one who fixes cars. And then we have a market seller. And then we have a market seller. A market seller is a person who works in the markets, sells fruits and vegetables. Then we have the chef. Then we have the chef. Who's the chef? The chef is a person who works in a restaurant and cooks delicious food for us all. So we have the chef. Where does the chef work? He works in a restaurant. And then we have the firefighter. We have the firefighter. The firefighter is the person who put down the fire. The person who puts down the fire is the firefighter. And he works in a fire station. Then we have the doctor. Who's a doctor? A person who examines the sick patient and help them. Where does he work? He works in a hospital. And then we have an engineer. We have an engineer, the one who builds for us the houses, the bridges, schools, buildings. An architect. What's the difference between an engineer and architect? The architect is the person who draw how the house will look like, how the school will look like, how the bridge will look like, and then he will give his drawings to the engineer to execute them. So we have engineer and architect. What about this person, the construction worker? The construction workers are the people who build with their hands, use the bricks to build the houses. So the construction workers are the people who work with their hands to build these houses and bridges and buildings that the architect design and the engineer execute, and who will make this happen using their hands are the construction workers. Then we have a web designer. What does it mean by web designer? It's a person who works on his computer to design websites. What the website? Like a Genova website. Like Google is a website. Okay, these are websites that you can log in to search for information, finds lots of useful stuff. Web designer. Then we have a concierge. We have a concierge. Who is the concierge? Concierge, he's the one who works in a place and can answer to your questions. Like if you went to a restaurant or a hotel and you want to know your room, so I'm going to come to the concierge. We're going to ask him some questions to know where is your room and which floor it is. So this is the concierge. Again, farmer, fisherman, carpenter, mechanic, market seller, chef, firefighter, doctor, engineer, architect, construction worker, web designer, concierge. These were the vocabulary in our books, and this is our revision sheet. You're going to find the same vocabulary, okay? And you're going to find works. Who works in a hotel? Concierge. Who helps people? Who's a concierge or doctor? Tells you on the phone, sends email, use a computer, web designer. Okay. And these are the places where each one of them work, like the hospital. Who works in a hospital? A doctor. So a doctor works in a hospital. Where does a doctor work in a hospital? A hotel. Who can work in a hotel? A concierge. Okay. A fire station, the firefighter. Where does a firefighter work? He works in a fire station. An office, we can have a web designer. A web designer works in an office. An architect also works in an office. So I'm going to say, where does a web designer work? Where, we ask for the place. We're going to have in an office. Cafe, the chef and the waiters, they works in cafe. Supermarket, the market seller. So where does a market seller work? He works in a supermarket. A farm, this is a place for the farmers to work. So I'm going to say, the farmer works at the farm. And then we have a restaurant. Who works in a restaurant? A concierge can work in a restaurant too. Also the chef, the one who cooks food. Okay, this for the places. And then I want you to look here for this thing for the grammar. First of all, we're going to start with the question words. The question words are the word that we're going to use to ask for things. But if I'm asking for people, I'm going to ask who's who. Who is this person standing over there? So I'm asking for a person standing by the door. So when you ask for people, you ask for whom. When you ask for things, what? What this thing on the table? It's a pencil. They are books. Okay, what this yellow thing? It's a bus. What are you doing? I'm eating. So when you ask for things, we ask with what? Again, who for people, what for things, when for time. When do you get up? I get up at 6 o'clock. When you go to school, I go to school at 8. So when for the time, where for a place. Do you remember when we say, where does doctor work? It works in a hospital. He works in a hospital. So again, if you can see the question words, when for time, when you watch TV, I watch TV at 7 o'clock. What for things? What is this? It's a book, it's a phone, it's a laptop. Where? For places. Where does she work? Where does she work? She works in a hospital, so she is a doctor or she's a nurse. Why? For reasons. Why does the chef wear a hat? So I'm asking why? Because he needs to be clean. Why were you absent yesterday? Why were you absent yesterday? Because. So when you ask was why, the answer must come was because. Because I was sick. Because I was tired. Okay, this is for why. We ask for the reason. And remember that our answer must start with because. The last one that we're going to have here is who. Again, we said who for people. Who works at the hospital? Doctors and nurses works at the hospital. Okay, so these are the question words. Who for people. Who works in the office? Web designer, concierge, an architect. What is that? It's a book. What are these? These are books. When you go to school, I go to school at 7 a.m. time. Where? For a place. Where does the chef work? The chef works in a restaurant. Okay, this is the first part in our grammar lessons in Unit 4. In Unit 3, which is the question words. Then we'll come to the present continuous. As you can see, all these are questions for where and what and when. If you're going to look at some of them. Does he work? He works in a school. So this is a place. Here we're going to use where. Here we're going to use where. The H, capital. Where does he work? Does he get up? He gets up at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is the time. So we're going to ask was when. Are you absent? Because I'm tired. So here he mentioned the reason. So I'm asking was excellent. Why? Why are you absent? Because I'm tired. Okay. These are some of the questions for the question words, and we have already answered all this in the sessions before. Then we're going to come to a tense. Here we have taken is the present continuous tense. What the present continuous? The present continuous, it's an action that's happening right now, and it's in progress. Again, the present continuous is an action that's happening, yes, right now, and it's continuing. Like Miss Heba is talking now. You're listening now. At the moment, my brother is eating his lunch. Look, the birds are flying in the sky. Again, the present continuous is an action that's happening now, at the moment of speaking, and it's continuing. So how do we form it? Again, how do we form it? What do we add for it? We have verb to be, am is are, and then the verb was ing. Again, we have am is are, and the verb was ing. I takes am, I'm eating, I'm talking, I'm sleeping. He and she and it takes is. He is jumping. My mother is making. Okay. You, we, they takes are. They are playing football. We are listening to music. You are talking. Okay. So we said again, the form of the present continuous, we have am is are plus verb ing. If we look at these sentences here, we can say here that the first one, they're an action that's happening now. So they will take are. So they are playing, adding ing. We cannot say they are play. We cannot say they are play. We also cannot say they playing. We must have verb to be and then verb ing. What can you see he's doing now, this boy? He is singing. Excellent. He takes is, and sing, we're going to add ing. He's singing. Look to the girl, what she's doing at the moment. The verbs or the question or the key verbs, the keywords that comes with the present continuous. Now look, listen at the moment, at the present time, today. Again, what are the words that when I notice them, I can find them that they are in the present continuous. Now look, listen at the moment, at the present time, today. Here, she read the book. Can we say it like this? No. Can we say she's read? No. Can we say she reading? No. I have to write she is reading a book. Okay. What about this one? Tom is jumping. Okay. Remember something that we always say before when we talk about the present continuous. If the verb ends with an E, we cannot put ing. What we're going to do, excellent, my students, we're going to delete the E to put the ing. Like I'm going to say here, mom is making. I'm going to cross the E. Can I write like this? No, this is wrong. I have to cross the E to put ing. Mom is making cake for me. So again, don't forget, if you have an E, we're going to cross the E to put ing to the verb. Okay? This is for the present continuous. Remember, guys, if we are going to have to make a question, what we're going to do? Excellent. We're going to do the scissors. Okay? We're going to start with they are singing. How are we going to make it a question? We're going to say, are they singing? So start with verb to be. Are they singing? So how we make a question in the present continuous? We're going to start with the helping verb, is or are, and then the subject, and then the verb ing. They are celebrating. The baby is sleeping. We're going to make this one. So here we have is at the beginning, the scissor. The baby is going to be the second. So I'm going to say capital I, don't forget the capital, is the baby sleeping? And then a question mark. He is riding a bike. Is he riding a bike? They are playing. Are they playing? So remember, when you make a question, we're going to put is or are at the beginning, and then the subject, and then the verb ing. What if we want to change this in the negative? I'm going to use don't and doesn't? No. We have here verb to be. Okay. They are playing. He is riding. If I want to make this one negative, I'm going to say he isn't riding. So we are just going to put not to is. So isn't, aren't, am not. He isn't riding a bike. And then a full stop. If I want also to negate this sentence, they are playing, I'm going to say they aren't playing. They aren't playing. So again, to remember what the present continuous, we said it's an action that's happening at the moment speaking and in progress, it's continuing. How it's formed, we're going to use am is are, verb to be plus verb ing. They are celebrating, the baby is sleeping, he is riding a bike. What about the negative form? How can we negate it? We put not to verb to be. Am not, isn't, aren't, and also the verb was ing. How are we going to make a question? We're going to start with the helping verb, which is verb to be, subject, and then the verb ing. So don't forget the scissor for this one. So guys, these were the things or the important things that we have taken in Unit 3. If you have further questions, I'm going to be there for you in our sessions. Thank you so much for your time.